Video games. The media known for bringing millions of people hours and hours of endless entertainment, often seen as a simple genre with no real meaning. But what most people don't realize is their existence as an art form. Art, by most people, is defined as a painting or drawing. The true definition of art is the application of human creativity and knowledge to produce a work of beauty or emotional depth or meaning that art is a very broad form of entertainment, applying to films and short films, TV shows and video games. While this may be surprising, video games can be a lot more than simple fun. They can portray deep messages and incredible amounts of detail, handcrafted by teams of hundreds of people. For example, let's take a look at Call of Duty: World at War. Released in November of 2008, Call of Duty: World at War was developed by Treyarch and Arcane Studios, and takes place in the most decisive battles of World War II. Like every COD game before it, World at War was an incredibly well-designed game with orchestral music, excellent writing, and linear gameplay. But what was its message? What made it different to every other linear shooter in the market? It was its portrayal of brutality and violence in war. Unlike its recent descendants, World at War portrays war as a hellish and gruesome matter, where morals are questioned and men perish. You aren't even given a tutorial at the beginning of the game. Instead, what you get is a comrade slaughtered right in front of you, after which you are thrown straight into the action. On top of this, World at War realistically portrays the atrocities committed by both sides. This is a great depiction of the sheer brutality of war, and an example of how a war should ever be portrayed. A depiction of hell on earth, and not a romantic hero story. So, while video games have potential in portraying brutality, what other kinds of messages can it portray? Prepare to enter Dark Souls. Dark Souls, released in 2011 by From Software, is an action RPG that takes place in a cruel and unforgiving world. Dark Souls is considered to be one of the best games ever made. It has excellent level design, gameplay, mechanics, and a deeply crafted lore. The game was designed, like every other game, by a team of designers and graphic artists. Every single texture, model, and sprite was designed with great detail by skilled individuals. The game, notorious for its extremely high difficulty, has been praised for the unforgiving and calculated style that old-school arcade games took. But the only reason that arcade games, back then, were difficult was because it needed to milk the most money out of the player possible. So what is the point of its crippling difficulty? What meaning could it possibly convey? Dark Souls is a metaphor of life. You may fail over and over again, but soon enough, with enough effort, you can succeed. You may be stuck on a boss for a little while, but with all your failures and deaths, you can slowly learn from them until you finally overcome your challenge. Dark Souls doesn't place you in the center of the action. It does not brand you as a legendary hero from the very beginning of the game. It instead wants you to keep succeeding to the point that you achieve your own status. In this, Dark Souls has a meaning and application in real life. The lesson here is that you won't make it a success immediately. Failure and plight is inevitable and necessary for you to at least make a name for yourself or achieve your dreams. In this, Dark Souls is a masterpiece and a work of art. For me personally, it's my favorite. Art, the accumulation of human effort and imagination, the portrayal of worlds beyond our imagination, and the portrayal of real meaning. Video games, works of art.